Patrick, it's always fun to look back at the accomplishments within the OHDSI community. I know one that we want to talk about is an important global network study in the BMJ this month. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, thanks, Craig. Yeah, it was exciting to see for the second straight month OHDSI featured in BMJ. This month, the paper Characterizing the Background Incidence Rates of Adverse Events of Special Interest for COVID-19 Vaccines in 8 Countries, a multinational network cohort study, was published. This study was led by Jingtung Li and Anna Ostropolitz and featured a wide array of contributions from our OHDSI community. What's exciting about this work is that this was in direct response to the need from our colleagues at the FDA and EMA, recognizing that in order to study the COVID vaccines, we needed to understand the background safety. And I really feel proud that OHDSI kind of came to the mission of generating robust evidence. What I think makes this paper particularly noteworthy is that we were able to use 13 different databases in 8 different countries, including data in the US and across Europe from France, Germany, the UK, Spain, and the Netherlands, as well as data in the Asia Pacific region in Japan and Australia, to come together to provide a grounded understanding of 15 adverse events of special interest. And this background rate context provides us a foundation for now studying the COVID vaccines moving forward. So I think this is a really nice demonstration of how the OHDSI community can come together. We started this project back in January based on the needs of our colleagues and regulatory agencies, and only now 6 months later to see the results published in the BMJ and have already made contributions to public health is very rewarding.
It's exciting to celebrate the work that is finished, but certainly there's a lot more work to be done in many areas, and one that OHDSI will tackle now is research around health equity. There was a community brainstorm earlier in the month, and then the first meeting of the health equity work group. What do you see the big challenges are in research in this area, and where can OHDSI make a difference?
Yeah, it's exciting to see the community turning its attention to another important public health issue. At the start of the year, OHDSI set its community objectives and key results, and one of them was to tackle 3 primary public health issues. One was to generate evidence about COVID-19. The second was to study type 2 diabetes. And the third one was to focus on health equity. And as we took stock of the progress we made tremendous progress in research on COVID-19. And we've laid a strong foundation to study diabetes through our Legend initiative. But health equity was an area where we recognize that there's more need. And certainly this month, we talked about the challenges of studying health equity. There are challenges in maturing our data standards to be able to represent disparate populations, whether it be gender identity, biologic sex, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and there's needs for stronger conventions within our community so that we can harmonize data. There are also challenges associated with methodologic research and what does it actually mean to study health disparities, to quantify them, and to be able to evaluate their causal inferences. But most importantly, there's challenges in actually thinking about the clinical application, not just to observe patterns in historical data, but to try to understand why and to figure out what types of interventions we could do to promote greater health equality. What I think is exciting, though, is that the community is really taking this ball and running with it in terms of creating a work group. I think the primary challenge has simply just been that we've all been so busy with so many other pieces of work that we haven't had focused attention to it. And so it's really gratifying to see so many researchers from across our community coming together to say, now's the time for us to design and execute studies to generate evidence towards this important public health issue.
When you talk about the community taking the ball and running with it, I think one area every year that we see that is in our Collaborator Showcase. And this year, more than any, a record number of submissions for the Collaborator Showcase. I know this is one of your favorite parts of the OHDSI years, just to see the submissions and the breadth of research. So how excited are you to begin the journey of providing review and looking at these and planning out the showcase?
Yeah, each year we hold our OHDSI symposium, and I always highlight that the The most rewarding part for me is our Collaborator Showcase, where researchers from across the community get to demonstrate their current research and their work in progress in a wide array. And each year we set a deadline of submissions, and we cross our fingers hoping to see something good come in. And each year the community continues to exceed expectations. This year we had over 110 different submissions, ranging from posters and lightning talks and software demonstrations across the diverse categories of data standardization, methods research, open source software development, and clinical applications. And so it was really gratifying to see all of these brief reports come in, and we're now going to be excited to see a peer review go through by our community for our community, and really excited to see this work be highlighted at the symposium September 12th through 15th.
And I know we'll talk more about the symposium next month and some plans, but I know there's some pretty exciting ideas in already being discussed about the symposium. So really looking forward to that. But to have over 110 submissions, certainly a good sign for another memorable event.